Welcome. Oh, I was just singing. I know you was right. So you want to say action?
Okay, action.
I need some ginkgo biloba. What is it? You know what I'm talking about? They used to talk about it back in the day. The ginkgo biloba.
I can't.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the ginkgo. They say they know what they're saying. That's why you start laughing. What's the name of it?
I'm sorry.
The name of the thing. You don't know it. She wrong, y'all.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be serious. She like...
Welcome to Thoughts in a Glass podcast. I'm LaToya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered thoughts and experiences and a whole lot of laughter.
So grab your drinks, pause, make your drink if you like it. If not, drink whatever you want. And then join us back. And once you join, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bells because we want you to continue to come back weekly so that you can join us on this journey of funny and raw and ridiculous sometimes commentary. And so we drop a new video every week, every Wednesday. Usually comes out about 10 a.m. So if you're at work, be tuned in. If you're at home, tell them you can't come to that 10 o'clock meeting. Show up and show out for us. So anyway, we usually start our night off with a drink of the night. And usually LaToya is the one that mentions it, but I was already on a roll.
So what's the drink of the night?
So the drink of the night is for people who want a little something, something, and then someone else who don't want a little something, something. So the drink of the night is a fuzzy navel and a hairy navel. So a fuzzy navel has orange juice and topped off with peach schnapps. And that's what I made LaToya off camera. So the way that you make it is you just get your OJ. And this is good for like people that don't want a mimosa but want something with orange juice in it. So this is a good morning time brunch kind of drink, heavier drink. This is if you don't want maybe the full amount of alcohol because of course liqueurs do have alcohol in them. But if you don't want a lot of alcohol, you just want the maybe a little buzz. If you're someone like myself who wants to taste a little something in your system, you're gonna take your orange juice, fill it all the way out, just as much as you would like. You're gonna do basically all of the same things, and you can top it off with a little peach schnapps. But what I also like to do, just a smidge, a little topping. But for the grown folks, you're gonna take this is just a shot, but you usually do 2 shots of vodka, and that is your hairy navel. So. Cheers. Oh yeah, that'll put some hair in your chest. And see how light that is? It's refreshing. It doesn't feel like you don't get that punch.
Right.
You don't get that punch. But
well, how was your week?
The week was good. For the last podcast, I didn't really bring it up, but we came back from Georgia. We went Valentine's Day weekend and went to go see my partner's family that lives down there. So that was cool. And so this week I just spent the time just trying to get it together. Like the week that we came back, I was exhausted. It was a holiday weekend. So the work week was long as hell because of it. So this week I really wanted to take the time to do some just household stuff. Yeah. Laundry, checking in with the kids, because the weekend that we came back, Jonathan was gone, so just kind of hanging with him. We're finally all just back home settling in. So he was gone to Georgia with us. Then that next weekend he was with his dad. So now this is the weekend that we're actually all home. Right. Janae didn't go with us, so just kind of doing some quality time stuff with the kids. Yeah. So that's basically what my week agenda kind of took care of.
We had I have a ton of family whose birthdays are in February. So I feel like every weekend I've been like celebrating birthdays.
Right.
So it's just been a lot of that going on. And so it's Pisces season. And so we've been celebrating all the Pisces and kind of doing that. So that's kind of what my week has been kind of filled with.
Okay.
And to celebrate Pisces season, I pulled out the Pisces candle from my candle collection.
Okay.
I mentioned to y'all last week that I do have a candle business. And so what we do or what I do is I have a zodiac line where I make a specific scent for each of the 12 zodiac signs. And so just wanted to highlight that and showcase that because, I mean, shameless plug, why not?
And why not when it's definitely Women's History Month?
Right. And this is a women's
women's
business.
Empowerment business.
Yeah.
All of the things. So plug it in.
Exactly. So if you want to get into it, want to check out the candles, I do have an Etsy store. It's called 923 Noble Street. You can search that up. It'll pop up on Etsy.
Or you could just look at the description bar.
I'll drop it down in the description box below. So just wanted to share that with you all. But also though, really, that's how my last since Valentine's Day, the last couple of weekends have just been literally birthday after birthday after birthday. So
mine's will be ramping up very soon.
Oh, because you have a bunch of Tauruses.
I have a bunch of everybody.
Yeah, you do.
My God. So, yes, but speaking of Women's History, this is the
Happy Women's History Month.
Yeah, March, and so it is Women's History Month, and just like I said with Black History Month, they do have a theme. So it's basically celebrating women who tell our stories. So take an opportunity. We're not going to do like we did last month and just kind of have everyone's name, but take an opportunity each time, and maybe you could put it down in the description to share with the community of women that you know who are out here telling our stories about women and the things that we are accomplishing the things that we are getting into, not just black or white, just the whole range of. Share with us. Keep the people in tune on what's going on.
Period.
So this week, I told y'all I love a binge show.
What you been binging?
It was only a few episodes, and I hope don't think I'm a nerd for it.
What?
Girl, watch it. Percy Jackson.
Oh, me too. Okay. Did you finish it? I finished it. I thought it was so cute.
Jackson on Disney, and I appreciate how they mixed up the people. Of course, the main character is a Caucasian male, but I can't think of her name, but the Athena's daughter, she was African American. I think the one with the horns, child, this is damn near 40, right? Descriptions get me through. I think he was maybe he was Indian or something. But anyway, it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It did follow sort of the path of the movie, but it was a little different.
I think it felt closer to the books than the movie.
So that's what I have not.
Okay.
I have not read the movies.
Not even like in school?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am. Not PG County School.
I read it in PG County. Okay, never mind.
No, where I was at. And maybe it just must have known the syllabus, but we ain't read that.
Okay. But you read Harry Potter.
So the reason I read Harry Potter is my mother made me read Harry Potter.
I don't know if Percy Jackson was assigned reading, but I do remember reading it when I was younger.
Okay.
I know the Chronicles of Narnia was assigned reading.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
But I do. So one of our assigned readings was, no, it wasn't. It wasn't assigned. We had to read a novel-ish book, which was off topic, but I can't remember. It's the sisters who...
The Traveling Pants?
No, it was the sisters who wanted to be with... the dude was named Dorothy, or... it's a movie now, too. Child, I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember.
When she remember, we gonna put it in the description.
We're gonna put it down in the description. Child, I don't remember. Now I can't remember what. Now it's going to be mad. But
anyway, Percy Jackson, you liked it.
It was cute. One thing I appreciate, and I know why they do it, is because people will get a app for the 7-day trial, binge it, and then leave the app. So they only give out like 2 episodes at a time. But when I first started watching it and I only saw the 2 episodes, I was furious.
Yeah.
Because now I got to wait.
I just waited. So I didn't even. I just waited.
Once I realized that, I was like, oh, see, now you done. Because you know what? Netflix used to put out the whole thing.
This is Disney Plus, but they doing the same thing. And just a heads up, they're going to do the same thing for Bridgerton. They're releasing like 6 episodes, and then they're going to make you wait for the next 6 episodes. So, did you watch the Tyler Perry movie that just came out last week? What was it called? Mea Culpa.
Mea Culpa. No.
I watched it. Okay. I hesitated. I didn't watch it when it first came out.
Okay.
Wanted to see what the people were saying. Okay. But then I just was like, I need to watch for myself. And here's my honest feedback.
Okay. Now, this is Beyonce's family.
I like Kelly as an actress.
Okay.
I think she's really good. I mean, she's not like, Angela Bassett, but she's really getting into her acting bag, and I love that for her. Okay. I feel like that's a lane that she can really develop in. Mm-hmm. I think she has to, and she's working her way through, but I think at some point she has to get away from Hallmark, and she has to get away from the Tyler Perry, the smaller productions. I think she has to get away from that to really hone in on her craft as an actress. Mm-hmm. One thing I'll say about this movie, it definitely showed in my opinion, it showed the versatility in Tyler Perry. But I think there's something about him that he just cannot break away from that soap opera type of drama.
Okay.
The movie starts off as something that I would consider regular drama. Okay. A little bit of a thriller. Mm-hmm. It just starts off really high, and I kind of have high hopes. But by the time we get to the end of the movie, it's like the start of the movie is like you're sitting in a movie theater watching something good. Okay. By the time you end the movie, you feel like you're sitting on your couch watching a Lifetime movie. It had a lot of grit. It had a lot of quality. Mm-hmm. But it just went downhill for me at the end. Can we just at some point, and I get it, this is what sells and this is what people like, but at some point, can we get away from the really dramatic plot twist? Can we get away from the really dramatic I have to fight to save my life kind of scenes? Yeah.
Why does everything have to be trauma?
Yeah, or like there's a secret, that comes to light, and it just really gave Lifetime. And I felt like he could have told the same story, even with all of the same pieces and elements, but targeting him as the director, you are the one that has directed this into being that kind of stereotypical thing that we see in movies, mm-hmm. where you could have taken the same storyline and artistically displayed people's actions. Right. I hate when this happens in a movie. I hate when there's a bombshell that's dropped, uh-huh. and there were no Easter eggs to kind of lead up to it. It's right. kind of like this information comes out of nowhere. Right. That happens in this, and I didn't appreciate that. I felt like there were so many times where we could have seen some little Easter eggs being dropped, right. where we could have seen, even in the subtleties of an actress, maybe the way they move their body or the way they react when you say something, you might be like, oh, why she react like that? Yeah. Something must be going on.
It's like you, I'm going to say, dumb down the movie so that the audience doesn't have to think.
And I don't like that. I feel like it insults my intelligence right. as a right. viewer. Right. Like, let me put the clues together.
Right.
But you got to give me something.
Right.
If you never show me, anything, then of course I'm going to be surprised when something comes out at the end.
Yeah.
So anyway, it wasn't bad. It was one of Tyler Perry's better movies, in my opinion. I just felt like it could have been even better. But he has to put that soap opera, that melodramatic spin on things. And maybe it's just personal preference. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
There are people that love it. I'm just not into that.
I think more of his fan base enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm just going to be honest, that's one of the reasons that I wasn't pressed to see it. Because just the fact that why she just can't do her job.
Right.
Why does she have to now become intimate with this man?
Exactly.
And I get it. And so I kind of read these synopsis of the movie, and she's kind of like in a bad marriage or something like that. But it's like, why is it that women can't have enough self-worth? Just because I'm in a bad marriage does not mean this man looking good and telling me sweet nothings is going to make me drop my jaw.
And honestly, if you watch the movie, you would still feel that way. Because once everything unfolded, it was kind of like, girl, it wasn't necessary. Like, you didn't have to go down that path.
Right.
And to me, it kind of made her look bad.
Yeah, and I think for me, I'm tired of looking at movies that make us look bad. This is Women's History Month as well. I ain't got time for that shit. I'm so over you got to be cheated on. You got to be in a bad relationship, and you have to be so lonely that you're going to sleep with the person that you represented. As realistic as you're trying to make it, and maybe because this is not my everyday, I don't look at it like, oh my God. But and then even if it was, I don't want that to be a spotlight on that. Like, it's to me, that part of it is unnecessary, and it's dragging it a bit. And so that's one of the main reasons I was kind of like, oh, once I saw that was in it, I fell back. Because a lot of movies that have, and I'm just gonna say it, I always say a little controversial, a lot of movies that have Caucasian women in it, they don't have to do that.
You're right.
They don't have to. When I look at movies that people really like Erin Brockovich, unnecessary. Like, she was able to just do right by them people. Did she have on the side a romantic relationship? But she didn't have to sleep with the lawyer. She didn't have to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It didn't have to be that. And
I would have even so you're absolutely on. You're spot on. It really didn't need that. And I get it, sex sells, and so they were maybe trying to work in a sex scene, but there were several opportunities where we could have worked in a sex scene. It didn't have to be the two main characters, because obviously we know from the synopsis that she's his lawyer.
Right.
So it didn't have to be the two main characters. There were enough other characters in there that if she was going to step out on her husband, if that's something she was going to do,
right,
there were enough side characters where she could have done that with someone else.
Right.
And even if we wanted to see him in a sex scene, there were enough side characters
right,
that we could have seen him interact with somebody else in a
right,
sex scene.
Right.
It really didn't need that.
Right.
But they went in that direction.
Right.
And even that kind of feels a little forced when you watch it. It kind of feels like it was a little bit of build up to it, but you kind of like, damn, that's all it took for him to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it took.
And the thing is, and people don't want to, and maybe people do, people don't, admit the fact that a lot of times people live their lives or try to imprint their lives while they see movies. And so you get these lackluster dudes that come at you because they've seen this movie, or they've watched this podcast, or they've watched these other men say things, do things, and so that was like, oh, well, that's how you get somebody. I know for years, people were like, oh, I want to love Jones. It's toxic.
Yeah.
And unnecessary ass crap.
Yeah.
So until we have a different outlook on our own lives, or how we look at ourselves, we're always going to be in a situation where the black woman has to cheat on the husband, or has to be put into a compromising position so that there can be some kind of spin at the end where it's a possibility he's going to, like, you have to then play it up. Why she just can't have a bad relationship with the husband, and in the midst of trying to figure out this trial, also trying to work on her marriage, and realizing some of the stuff in the trial is causing her to have different thoughts of her marriage and work through that.
Exactly.
Why couldn't it be?
And it could have even been moments of tension, you know what I'm saying? Moments where she starts to rethink, you know, if this person is turning me on, if this person is making me feel sexual tension, maybe I do need to figure out, am I in the right space with my marriage? But they didn't have to go all the way. Right. And that's not spoiling anything because that's in the trailer. The trailer. So that's my take on that.
I don't necessarily plan on watching it, but okay, do y'all think. This week, one of the things that while I was in Georgia, we had a Sunday dinner with, I'm just going to call them my in-laws because that's how it is. But so like one of my sister-in-law, her child's aunt came over as well. And she's mentioned this to me before, but one of the things that she continuously does is on Sunday is her self-care day.
Okay, nice.
Every Sunday she does something for like a massage. She'll get her, like, it's a full day of self-care. And so what are some of the things and ways that you do self-care? And with living the life that we live, it was a two-part question, and if we get off track I'll try to bring us back, but to de-stress, because I think sometimes those are two different things. And with everything that's going on, with the political climate, with jobs security, insecurity, with all of the different things that are going on, I just want to, maybe for our community, put out ways that you can do self-care, sometimes on a budget, sometimes to the extreme, and learning what to do and how to de-stress, not medically, because we're not medical professionals, but in your life, since you've been working, since you've been doing things, how do you do your self-care and how do you de-stress?
Honestly, if I'm being transparent, self-care for me looks, it doesn't look glamorous, honestly.
Okay.
Like, for me, self-care is going to bed on time.
Okay.
You know, making sure I pack my lunch. It's, you know, putting gas in my car the night before so that I don't have to do it the morning of and then be late to work.
Right.
I think we get glamorized by what media would say self-care is. And that is self-care, but there's a part of self-care that's not, that doesn't look like that. There's a part of self-care that says, if you know you want to feel like if you know you don't want to sit in traffic for 2 hours, then you need to get out of the house earlier, which means you need to go to bed earlier.
Right.
Or, you know, if you know you need 8 hours of sleep,
right,
then you need to make sure that you're shutting it down so you get those 8 hours of sleep. So I think for me, I feel like when I'm really on top of my self-care, I'm doing those little things where I'm just taking care of myself in a way, or being more responsible, I guess, in a way that brings ease to my life.
Okay.
So if I can take care of some things that I know I need to take care of, you know, not procrastinate on certain things, because then I feel so much better when I'm like, okay, I've gotten this done. I don't have to run around at the last minute to try to figure out what I'm going to do. That's a version of self-care. And then to distress, for me, two things. One, I like to be creative. I feel like when I'm doing something creative, that could be therapeutic for me. So making my candles, or my little brother likes to color. So I've taken up that with him, like coloring. We have a PS5 in the house now. So like playing a video game. And then the other thing I like to do to distress is getting in nature. And I know that sounds so like cliche, but it's true. If I take my dog for a walk and just like being outside really helps to like
get those endorphins
and like regulate my nervous system. It really does help. Even just like walking barefoot helps me.
I mean, energy from the ground.
Yeah, like just grounding, and maybe not everybody agrees with that, or they might find it unsanitary, but for me it's just it's something about just feeling the like earth underneath of me. That's two things. One, I understand the spiritual benefits of it, but also it's nostalgic because when I was younger growing up, we ran around barefoot. Yeah. And so doing that now as an adult, it just kind of brings back childhood memories, which helps me to like bring myself down and like
take away some of the anxiety of life.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
The adulting part of it. It just kind of takes it down to the fundamental of just being a kid.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I would say those are like my go-tos for like de-stressing. Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I know for me, for self-care, which I definitely need to be to get a better hold of. But one of the things I need to do, and I really want to do for my own mental health and self-care, because that's the same thing. Mental health is a part of that.
Absolutely.
Is going to therapy.
And I love therapy.
Unlearning some things. Because the more and more I be on the Ticket to Talk, the more I see or find out the stuff that was pushed on us in our generation really has caused us to be anxious, overworked, uninspired, and unable to regulate certain things because we're trying to meet the expectations and standard of what they consider where you should be.
Absolutely.
And as I've gotten older, and some of the things that was kind of pushed on us as kids, buying a house, going to college, this, that, and the fourth, working, making as much money, doing these things, it causes more stress. And this guy had said he's basically talking to himself as like the therapist, and then he's also then answering the questions. And so one of the things he said about school is we were taught to school assignments, attendance, it was always a award for perfection. And if you were less than perfect, you got nothing for it. Right? And so you strive to be, strive to do so much just for perfection. And we carry that into our adulthood. So if you know you need to be off from work because you're sick, we have been programmed, just because you're sick, you still need to get up and get in there. Because you need to be present. Don't let something fall behind the cracks. Don't let, if you're not there, if something happens, or the project that you're working on, and it's like, that project's still going to be here. And as much as I tell my mom and other people all the time when they're going to work and they're stressed or tired, not feeling well, your job vacancy will be out before your obituary.
Sure will be.
Will be. Having to learn how to, take care of your mental health and self-care. Taking care of yourself in different ways. Figuring out some of the things that are unorthodox. Not just taking prescription meds. Going to the, we have a Browns Market by us that, people know a lot about these spiritual health or herbs and different things like that. Just like cleansing your body. So I'm kind of getting into wanting to do that. Natural remedies of how to do things. But for my decompression, and so I'm still very much so working on what self-care really looks like for me and how it works for me. Because what has been pushed to me, going to get your nails done, doing this, that, and the full, it costs money that I don't want to spend, and it's not realistic in an everyday life situation when you have kids and a mortgage and relationships and all of the things that come. But for me, for de-stressing, and this is the worst, and I know it's a problem, that's why I need to be in therapy. Give me a snack. And I'm not a emotional eater where I'll eat a whole lot or binge a whole lot. But if I get a Cinnabon, I'm like, yes. That feels better. I'm not a drinker.
Question for you. Did you get rewarded with food when you were a kid? No? No. Interesting.
No. And maybe not getting rewarded with food.
Like you're trying to overcorrect.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I have a problem with distinguishing when I am stressed and what I need to do with stress, because I'll start, in my mind, this is how my mind works, and I then get super stressed. So I'll be like, oh, you know what? I need something to decompress, right? So I think about, okay, summertime or spring is coming. I really want to plant flowers and this, that, and the fourth. But in my mind, this is where it goes. Okay, so you need to schedule a day to go to Home Depot. You need to map out how you want or where you want everything to go. Okay, so it's going to cost money for mulch. It's going to cost money for the supplies. So now I'm looking at the bills that's coming in.
Not only that, but like you're planning, you're organizing, you're strategizing, and that's not helping. Yeah,
it's overwhelming. And so now it's not.
And the goal of this was to de-stress,
right? So now I'm all the way up here, and so to do nothing is something that I'm working on to learn how to de-stress. To say,
but doing nothing, if that creates more anxiety, then that doesn't help either.
But I need to learn how to realize, because I say it to people all the time, those clothes still gonna be here.
Yeah.
So don't stress yourself. I gotta go wash the clothes. Because that causes more stress. Today, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
You're going to sit down, meditate, chill, play your little little farm game we used to play back in the day. Play that. Just stuff that doesn't cause you to think. And doing that lately, a lot, putting on something. I've been watching all the NCIS series and just be binging. And then the stuff that I'd be like, girl, shut up because you sound crazy to the TV. But doing that gives me a sense of, I ain't thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I know what the plot gonna be. I know where, what's his name? Not Morris Chestnut, child. With the bald head. He bald too. Light skinned man. Anyway, I know what he gonna
Boris
do.
Kojo?
No.
Okay, don't.
His name Hondo in
Okay, Hondo.
Okay, but his name ain't really Hondo. But if anybody watches
NCIS?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not NCIS. This is not NCIS.
CSI?
This is it was a movie. They had a movie too. And Samuel L. Jackson was Hondo in that movie.
Girl, you lost me. I don't know what we're talking about.
I know down rabbit holes and tangents.
I don't know what we're talking about at this point. But anyway.
Think of it. I got to look. Every episode, I got to look something up. Oh. And, yeah, anyway.
But that helps you to not think about anything.
That helps me to just not think about some of the things that I have to do. And then, as stressful as I know it is, and I know that I need to do it, I need to go full stress and map stuff out so that I can, then when I'm trying to execute, it's easier execution. Because if I'm trying to map it out and execute at the same time, that's what stresses me out. If I say, okay, because I'm talking about spring, I want to do some lawn care, this, that, and the fourth. Mapping out which weekends I'm going to do what, but being okay if it doesn't happen.
What if you just did like a little bit at a time? Like, why does the whole plan have to be mapped out?
Because I'm crazy.
Would it be because getting in the yard and actually doing the planting is what's going to help you de-stress, right?
Yes.
So would it be too much, or would it work to say, I'm going to go and get one plant and I'm going to work on one square in the yard, and it doesn't matter if that's the most beautiful square. That's my one square.
Because I have not learned how to, with my ADHD, how to not finish something.
But you will. Because if the goal is just one square and you finish it, then you finished it.
Just one square.
Oh, so
the goal is
you can't
differentiate,
break that down into compartmentalize.
Yeah, it's like if you're working on the yard,
then you're working on the whole yard.
You're working on the yard. So if today is planting flowers, it's planting flowers on both sides. It is mulching both sides. It's digging up both sides. It's not. I'm not going to do one and then leave the other because my mind goes to because life happens. Well, I don't want it to not finish. So if I have the day to do it, I'm going to do it. And I don't know how to just look at it, and neither one of them is done.
Okay.
So just trying to get.
So then maybe that's not then a way to distress. Maybe you have to have some maybe you need to bring the bar down.
And again,
like maybe getting one thing done on your checklist could be a form of de-stressing.
But the part of it is creating the checklist.
Yeah.
And not stressing about what doesn't get done on the checklist, because my mind wanders about how I can complete everything and giving myself a time frame, because in my mind I'm like, I want it done by this time because I want to have the kids' birthday parties, or because I want to do this. And the other thing is, I don't want to spend every weekend on it.
Yeah.
Because it's the summertime, I want to be,
out and about,
and doing vacations and stuff like that. So,
well, also it's supposed to be something fun too, so it shouldn't feel like a chore. Yeah.
And I don't want it to feel like a chore. And this is the other thing. Once I get into it,
you into it.
I'm into it, right? It's the anxiety of, I give myself that I'm not finishing it, or that I'm not gonna be good at it, or it's not gonna look the way I want it to look, or all of the things, and I'm not giving myself the leeway for mistakes. So that's the whole thing. That's why I wanted to bring this up, because I know I ain't out there alone. I better not be alone.
And it may just be a thing of, you have to identify something that's not so high stakes.
Yeah.
Identify something that's like with me and my brother doing the coloring. I don't care if it's good.
So my parents,
I'm literally just doing this to just quiet my brain.
Right.
I don't care if I go outside the lines or anything. I mean, obviously I'm trying to stay in the lines, but I'm not beating myself up over it. And if I start a picture and I don't finish it, I'm also not mad. But that's because coloring is not a big deal to me. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's so okay, so I didn't fit. It's a pastime. Yeah. So maybe you got to find something that's more of a pastime, and not something that, because it sounds like working on the yard is more of a passion. And so you do get wrapped up in it if you don't finish it, or if it doesn't look right or whatever. You maybe need to find something that's more of a pastime, so that you're not tripping if it's not
completed.
Yeah.
One of the things my dad, and they got hooked onto it, so I don't want to get addicted to it. While they were on a cruise, because they have just come back from a cruise with my brother and sister-in-law. Randomly, they just went downstairs and started to put together a puzzle, because they have a big puzzle. And so
my aunt and her husband likes to do puzzles together too.
Well, they said they started, you want to put in a few pieces. Next thing you know, it had been 2 hours, and they were into it. So then my brother and sister-in-law came down, saw them, and so my dad was like, "Don't start, because you're not going to want to stop, especially when you start getting pieces together. You get involved." So of course, what do?
They get started.
So my father said he left, went upstairs, did a few things, came back. My sister-in-law had left, but my brother was still there. I mean, into it. So I'm like, I don't want to start that, because we had clearly.
But that might be perfect. That might be perfect for you, because it's something that you can't walk away from it.
Right.
And once you finish it, you get that dopamine hit of seeing the final picture.
True.
So that might be perfect for you.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna take all of your ideas, and I'm going to try to see what fits. What fits with me, and you guys give me some ideas as well of how you de-stress. What does self-care look like to you, and kind of how you operate in that space. So
I definitely think therapy for sure. I love it, but I'm also a talker, so having somebody talking to me and working through things and
helps you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a talker-ish. We already had that conversation.
Yeah. I think you would enjoy it though.
I know.
As soon as you get comfortable enough with a therapist where you can kind of let your guard down, right. I think it would be cathartic for you.
Yeah. And I would prefer, my preference, and this is a part of trying to figure out plans and things like that, I would like it to be in person.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah. The show called SWAT, y'all.
Oh, SWAT. And so who's the guy? It's Boris Kojo, right?
No, that ain't Boris Kojo. That's what's his name? No, it ain't Boris Kojo, because Boris Kojo is what's the face husband.
Okay.
What's the face husband?
Nicole Ari Parker.
Yes.
Yeah. So who's plays on SWAT then?
Oh God. Let me look at it. And the book that I was talking about was Little Women.
Oh, Little Women.
Y'all, my brain. Thank God I have a computer. And I can't. Y'all probably in the daggone thing like, girl, it's such and such. It's telling me the name, and I don't know. But
Well, in the future when we go live, then y'all can tell her. When see, this is the benefits of building up a community.
Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore.
Shamar Moore.
So if we had a community, y'all could have been in the live, and y'all could have gave her the name.
About, hey, it's such and such. It's such and such. Because listen. I need some ginkgo biloba. What is it? I need some ginkgo biloba. What is it? You know what I'm talking about. They used to talk about it back in the day. The ginkgo biloba.
Don't do that. Hey, one thing I cannot tolerate is people mispronouncing stuff. It's so funny to me. I can't.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's the ginkgo. They say, they know what they're saying. That's why you start laughing. What's the name of it?
I'm sorry.
The name of the thing. You don't know it. She wrong, y'all.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be serious. She like,
it's ginkgo, but like,
yeah, what is
you ain't gonna have me. You ain't gonna have me looking crazy.
What is it?
Biloba. Ginkgo biloba.
Okay. I mean, I was close. I said caballo. I just had the name. I had the G and the B messed up. You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to treat me like that.
Man, I can't deal with that. And my sister sends me stuff all the time with people messing up on their words. It cracks me up.
Because I sure will say it. I sure will say it.
So, do you feel like now, being, kind of where we are in our lives, do you feel like there's a good sense of like women empowerment? Like, do you feel like as women we lift each other up, help each other out? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say yes and no. I think that we do to a certain extent when we are not trying to be competitive in certain situations. I think as when we talk about relationships, absolutely not. I think when we talking about maybe in work and how we operate in that space, I think we are trying to be empowered until it will affect our bottom line. If it doesn't affect us, I remember back in the day, just hearing the stories, especially growing up in school, how women really would, like, when they were fighting for women's rights, they was really back there. When we was talking about civil rights, not getting on the bus, they don't mind. People would not mind, especially women, being the holders of the movements and making sure that they were the backbone to make things happen. As much as they talk about, especially with civil rights, and they talk about the men that did all, them women was up in there doing some things. The women's movement, black women start, like, it was because we wanted more. And now it's like we're in a space where we will help until it hurts our own bottom line. Excuse me. I think that's just with people in general, but I don't see it when it comes to sisterhood and like with men. I think we've gotten to the point where it's become to the point of desperation where it's not, no one wants to hold somebody else accountable. Like, I don't gotta do that. That ain't my marriage, that ain't my husband, that ain't my boyfriend. Why should I care if I'm cheating with him? Or why should, it's like, but bro, we supposed to be in a sisterhood. Well, it ain't enough men out here. Well, not, so I think in certain aspects, I think the Gen Zers are a little better with it, especially like now with the rap girlies and stuff. Because a lot of the rap girlies of that generation will work with each other. A lot of the rap girls of our generation won't work with them. Right. So I feel like they are better at F these dudes. I'm gonna be with my homegirl. We brunching. We this, that, and the fourth. I think the women of our generations that are in their 30s and going into their 40s, even maybe even mid 20s, are like, still hold on to the narrative of I need a man in my life to be the whatever.
And so in order to hold on to that narrative, you have to be not against women, but you can't also empower women if you want to hold on to that narrative.
Right. That's just in my opinion. When you're good with whatever is for you, you're much better at uplifting other women. When it comes to like jobs, even if we're going for the same job, I'm still gonna put my girl on, because if it's for me, I'm gonna get it.
Right.
If I know her credentials are better than mine, and I purposely be like, nah, I'm not gonna tell her about the job until I get it. It tells something about
absolutely
what you feel. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about women. My biggest thing is I want women to succeed, especially Black women. I want us to succeed because we are brilliant. I'm not saying other women aren't, but I'm just talking for my own culture. The things that we have to contend with and still being ahead, and still out here doing the thing, it's just amazing to me. And so if we could just kind of get past this, I'm gonna fight you for this dude, or hey sis, I want this job and I can't tell you about this job till I get the job. How do you know that job might not really be for you? If you may have heard about it because it's from God's mouth to your ears for you to tell somebody else about it, because they may not be able to get through to that person the way that you can. So why wouldn't you pass it along? But you know she gonna be making more money than you, so now it's kind of like
I think there's a side to this though that, like you spoke about before, when you're trying to be that woman that's empowering and it falls on deaf ears, or I saw opportunity, I told you about it and you didn't take it, or or we were both going up for a job, both equally qualified. I gave you the information, you get the job, then you get there and fuck it up, and not to go against your point of what's for you is for you, because maybe that was meant for that person to experience that. But I think the woman on the other side might feel like, what was the point of me trying to be a girl's girl, and now you squandered the opportunity when I could have had, I do think that there is that side to it where people have been burned trying to empower. And so you feel like maybe I should just worry about myself.
But my thing is that just because I told you about it doesn't stop me from doing the same thing. So I'm like, hey, they hiring for this job, or whatever, or they're looking for actors, or my qualifications ain't got nothing to do with yours. I'm just trying to open a door where either I would rather you and I be up against something so one of us can get it than me be up against something with 100 other women that I don't know. If you and I, you may get it and be like, all right, so now I know how it's working up in here. Let me see if I can talk so I can get my girl in here. Or vice versa.
Well, that's the hope, right? But what if I get it and I fuck up, and then they say, you know what, we not gonna deal with nobody else, we gonna change the role because she got in here and didn't do it right. You might be looking at it like, well, damn, I could, like, if you was gonna fuck it up, I wouldn't have told you. You know what I mean? I would have rather gone in maybe a little bit less qualified, but then done a better job. So would that make you feel like, let me not keep opening up my mouth to people because they don't take advantage of opportunities.
And rise to that occasion. But then this is a part of knowing who you're talking to.
That's true.
Because if you know your girls, right? And so and this is the other thing about being a girl's girl. Why you ain't talking about that job? Because I know you're not ready for it yet. To be able to tell your friend, I love you, but you aren't mature enough to be sitting up in the executive office. You don't like people. So I don't think that you should go into cosmetology where you have to like your clients. Or at least fake it. You don't have a poker face. So maybe you shouldn't play blackjack. I know you like to gamble. I know you like the cards. It's not for you. And then also to be a true understanding to say, you know what, I appreciate you being my friend and letting me know that, because I could be out here looking crazy, and
even just pointing that out, you know what I mean, to say, hey, I'm telling you about this, but I also want to point out some areas that I think you might need to check it. I got a dope friend, he looking for somebody. I want to put you on. But I know you have some trauma, some issues from your past. So
that
before I give him your number,
exactly,
maybe you need to work on that. And but I do think, just being devil's advocate, I do think when it comes to women, it's hard for us to take and receive that information.
Right.
Like, sometimes a lot of people don't want to say things and be honest because they don't know how it's going to be received. And a lot of times when you're being honest with the person, they can't receive it.
Right. Which again, completely understand. But that's the part of women learning how to really be girls. That's a part of it. It's a part of my community has my back. So if I hear something that is a negative because someone sees it, because I am my own yes person. So everything I do is right. So if my friend that I know is saying it in a loving way and loves me is telling me, hey, I see something in you. I see the potential, but you have to see your potential.
Right.
You have to see it, and receiving it in a way of what it's meant for, and not being like, oh, she's just jealous of me. No, that might not be it.
Right. Right.
So, I think there are a lot of instances where we are really good at it, and a lot of instances where it's trash.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to round that off, women's empowerment is not always going to be woman fuzzy.
Yeah.
You know?
Correct. Sometimes it's going to be very harsh.
It is.
And not in a way of, love can be harsh. The way that but it's how you receive it. Sometimes it can hurt your feelings. Take that, unpack why it's hurting your feelings. But if you know that it's true, it's a possibility, let me check myself and figure out some things so that I don't end up blocking my blessings trying to prove that you're wrong. Let me say, you know what? She might be right. Let me take a beat. Let me do some addressing of maybe some of the examples that they gave. If I can take myself out of it or put somebody else in those shoes, would I feel the same way? And instead of trying to figure out the situation to make it look good for you, really look at it for what it is. And look at it for the optics of somebody on the outside. Because you could see all the trees, but you can't see the full forest. So.
And that basically is just saying maturity.
Yeah.
In order for us to have that type of relationship, in order for us to be able to empower each other, we need to be mature.
Yeah. So, to wrap up the episode, one of the things we always do are you here for? That's what we started. One of the new things that we're trying to figure out is are you here for? One of the things that people have been talking about on this internet, is god daggone doomsday prepping. Are you ready for the doomsday? Are you ready? What's that movie called?
I don't know why you do this to yourself.
Why do I do that to myself?
I don't know why you do this to yourself.
In my mind, I see not Predator. God damn it. It's the one that be with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, you know him. You be like, I'll be back. You know.
Terminator.
Predator, Terminator. You know, all of the Earths. Are you ready for the AI? Are you ready for the robots?
No.
Oh. Do you believe in doomsday prepping?
No. I hope I'm gone before it happens.
Child, let me tell you something. My cousin, when I say she ready, they got camping equipment, machetes.
I'm going to their house.
Listen, my sister now, she know how to grow stuff. Listen, we have now gotten pockets of people that know how to do things.
As we should.
And so my sister know how to grow some things so we could eat. My brother or my father, myself, we good with our hands. We could try to fix some stuff. Now, I might not do it correct, but you teach me. I'm willing to try. I'm going to figure out how to build something, some shelter or something. I mean, we got pockets of folks to do stuff.
If it gets to that,
you out?
I holler.
So, what you got?
I holler. I holler. I'm not.
You got the motorcycles?
I'm not that girl, okay? I need to be in a civilized society.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Put it together.
My strong point is talking. We're not going to need that during doomsday. I mean, unless y'all want me to negotiate some deals with another tribe. Okay, well, but y'all going to have to take care of me.
But listen, I'm like,
I don't know how to do that.
I was thinking about the movies like, why do I do it every time? Every fucking time. the movie where they have 24 hours to kill people? The Purge.
Oh, The Purge.
Okay,
yeah.
See, let me tell you something. I can describe it. I can describe a lot. I can describe a lot of stuff. But when they got what if we in a purge situation? Are you going question? If we get a purge, now this is a little tangent, this is a little off. If we had a purge situation, are you a purger or you a hider?
I'm a hider.
Okay.
I'm a hide.
So you wouldn't want to be one of the killers?
Hell no.
You can't have that on your conscience.
No. And first of all, I don't even think I would be good at it.
I wouldn't be a killer. I'd be hanging with the killers. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Because I'm not hiding.
But at a certain point, they're going to expect you to participate.
I can be like, I don't know, dude. I don't want to be held accountable for somebody else's life. But I don't want to be so scared that I can't function.
So it's not that I would be so scared that I can't function, but I only want to have to kill somebody in defense of my own life. But I'm not going after people to kill.
Like, I feel like I could be the driver. Because
I don't even want to be the driver.
They just be out. Like, and I don't want to be a driver because then they're going to expect me to run somebody over. I don't know what I would be. I just don't want to be hiding. Because that means you got to lock down. What if I'm on somebody's list that they... Like, you could be a hider and not be on somebody's list, right? And not be a purger, just not be nothing. I don't want to be on the list. And
I would hope that I live my life in a way that I don't end up on nobody's list.
I don't even... And then if they hear the bells, I want to be fast enough to get home. What if you out and about the mall and they just like the purge is starting? They just be killing innocents too.
I'm going to be trying to get home as fast as I can. But if I don't make it home, I love y'all. It's been real.
Love y'all text. So, I'm a doomsday prepper. You're not.
No.
I might be a purger. You're a hider.
Hell no.
We don't know what they're doing. What are y'all? Who is doomsday prepper?
First of all, how do you even prepare? You don't even know what's going to happen.
Because the things that you need food. You need to know how to get good, clean water. Those little sippy things, the little straws. Camping equipment, just in case you're out in the woods. Machete so that you could chop down trees.
But what if the doomsday is like a cyber doomsday? Like, what if it has nothing to do with any of our natural resources? What if it's like a cyber attack?
So if it's a cyber attack, everything is off of like grids. Mm-hmm. So if it's a cyber attack, we won't get water because their stuff is at facilities that is controlled by computers. Everything is controlled by computers. So if we have a cyber attack, they're going to first go for the banks. So you ain't going to have any money. Then no cashier. So you can't check out anything. So that means it's going to be a whole bunch of looting. And then once you can't have radios for the police to call folk, it's over.
Child.
Everything right now is, and one of the things my cousin said was the only things that like for computer engineers and stuff like that, you gotta have electricity. Mm-hmm. The moment that electricity is gone, we don't have nothing else. That's why you got to have a trade.
Girl,
y'all get y'all doomsday selves together, because
but when it happens, I hope I'm out of here. It happened at a time where I'm not alive.
I mean, I get it. I'm gonna have a how to do for my great.
Our ancestors didn't prep for no doom days.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Listen, our ancestors, not even too far removed. That's why they had trades. That's why they know how to build shit. Our generation, learn computers, learn how to trade. Okay, well, when the trading is done, when the computers are gone, what you gonna be doing? When you got to learn how to build plumbing, build shelter, use a drill, then what?
I'm gonna be selling ass. Man out here that know how to do all of that.
It's a business for that.
It's somebody out here that knows how to do all of that. And all he wants is a little bit of ass.
No cheeks and somewhere to come home to eat. Well, hello.
That's my doomsday plan. That's my plan.
Oh my God, you are crazy. What are y'all? Y'all doomsday person? Y'all gonna be out here shaking ass and taking names? Y'all, you are crazy. You're crazy. So get down in the comments and tell us if you are a doomsday prepper. What do we need? If you're not, do you want to be out of here, or are you gonna be out here figuring it out like the rest of us? This has been great. First of all, we done laughed. LaToya done cried and laughed. We done went on tangents. I couldn't remember shit. We got a lot going on between the two of us.
This is a good time.
It's always a good time.
This is a good time.
Make sure you, again, like, subscribe, join the family, put on that notification bell, get into the comments, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a community to join our community. We are hoping that once we get more people involved, being able to go live so we can actually talk to y'all in the midst of recording so that you can really see some of the background foolery that goes on. So we really appreciate you guys coming out every week, even if it's not on Wednesday, but coming, showing your support, getting those views up, getting those subscribers up. We appreciate it because we take our time to bring y'all some relief. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is your de-stressor.
Yeah.
Just watching these two crazy girls can't remember shit and laugh because I can't say ginkgo whatever. And until next time, we will
drink to that.
Drink to that. Okay. See you soon. Okay.